And welcome to a bit of light relief. I'm going to go straight into introductions today, and I'm going to go to you first. It's been crazy here today.
Crazy.
Kelly York, Chief Operations Officer at the Curve Group.
Well done.
Jordan Barry-Bayliss.
You got it all the way right.
I did. I didn't even forget it. So I've had enough practice.
Well, it's like business at the moment. A bit of light relief is also changing a bit because our gorgeous, wonderful, handsome, funny Jordan is moving on to pastors.
It's a big boo, isn't it? It's a big boo.
But yay at the same time.
But basically,
Yeah,
ladies and
exciting.
gentlemen, what the feedback has been a resounding deliverance of and confirmation of is that these two have been really cramping my style.
Very dare you.
No, but not in all seriousness. I'm focusing on. I've been setting up something called the Human Revolution, which is very exciting. And what would I say about the Human Revolution? That it is a combination of everything that I believe in as a leader, about recreating and reimagining workplaces and leveling the playing field, actually, so that organisations go back to being much more accountable to their people for the culture that they create. I think we're entering a huge tipping point at the moment. I'm not going to say too much about it because I'll be talking a lot more through my own social media channels about it. But yeah, mixed feelings actually. Mixed feelings about going.
You'll be back.
Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back like a bad smell in 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
You'll see him creeping around in the back of my video.
It's like one of those boyfriends that always threatens to leave but never really does. That's me.
Is this the point where we said we preferred Doug anyway?
Or maybe you'll do the first.
Doug was a lot better.
By the way, that was a gratuitous
gratuitous
plug. That was a gratuitous
It
plug.
was.
But yeah, my top tip is make sure you remember the bell next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to make up for the sadness, I've bought Nettie a massive engagement ring.
Another one of her
It's a whopper.
portfolio.
It's a whopper.
In all seriousness, John.
We're not still drunk after Christmas.
We really do
Yeah,
wish
it's been a
you
pleasure.
every
Oh, thank you so
success.
much. I
And
really
this is
appreciate
just
it.
new beginnings, not the end for sure. But
Yeah.
but I think everybody would agree we've had a tremendous amount of fun.
So
not
much
only
fun.
doing this series,
Oh, we
but
really have.
all our time with you, and it made me reflect when we were sort of planning for today. Believe it or not, it is planned. You know, just how important having fun in the workplace actually is.
Oh, yeah.
And I see, really, quite unfortunately, that becoming less and less in the workplace. I don't know whether you two have got any reflections on that.
Go on, Kelly. What's your reflection?
Yeah, I'm going to be careful, use my words properly. I completely agree. I think there's been, everything's become so serious about managing cost, about keeping everything in this tight framework of life that actually we have lost the fun at work. I would go as far as saying at Curve we actually haven't, because we really try and engender that through our leaders, how people of individuality and fun and entrepreneurship, but there is definitely now, it's less exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of going into that working world.
Yeah, I think particularly at the top of an organisation, it's so compressed at the moment, and you know, it almost feels like leaders and particularly executive committees are in free fall because there's so much hitting at the same time. A lot of it is completely unpredictable.
Yeah.
And people, you know, I think there's, you know, regardless if we take it out of the work context, there's so much going on globally, societally, economically. You know, we talked about wars being on at the moment. It's having a huge effect on people. And I think one of the things that I observed was that I think people are kind of, when you, as humans, when you are under threat, what happens is we go into survival mode. And actually, survival mode is like autopilot. So what your brain naturally does when the majority of society is in survival mode rather, is shut down.
You
frontal
recoil
cortex.
as a personality.
Yeah, you
as well,
stop.
don't
You
you?
stop. The empathy levels are low. Your connectivity is reduced, and I think so that does naturally change behaviour a lot more than we actually probably acknowledge. So
Right.
I think fun is a really interesting point, and I think, you know, we talked about Christmas in our last episode, didn't we? Just about everyone getting together and having time together and fun. And I remember it's a really silly example, but on New Year's Eve we always have a bit of a knees up and we have people over to our house, which is it's a kind of a bit of a tradition. And we put on all of this really brilliant old 80s music.
Yeah.
Dance like we didn't care. And my best friend,
I'm that surprising.
we opened all the curtains so everyone could see us because we just don't care. In our very traditional village in the Cotswolds, where we're definitely the black sheep of the village. Oh God. And my friend said something really poignant to me. She said, when was the last time you did something that made you feel alive and made you feel human? And actually, I think it was laughing over Christmas. It was having a dance. Music.
Yeah, music.
Gets you connected with with yourself, doesn't it? And it moves you. And we're not doing anything. And I think the fun point, Betsy, is so important. Fun is so underrated, but it's so necessary at the moment. We really could do with a good laugh and a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
And we're already in January.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, isn't it? As leaders, you have to work at it, particularly understanding that, you know, the world is a tricky place. I'm not sure that we engender this in our schools and our colleges and our, you know, in our professional careers, and there's no sort of format for doing that. And it just because you're having fun at work doesn't mean to say that you're not getting the job done. And actually, there's a huge amount of data around actually if you can create an environment where people are happy, actually they perform better. I'm sure you've got a lot better
Productivity
stats around
actually
this,
spikes.
but it's about choosing your behaviour, choosing and actually engendering that in your leaders, and allowing people to have fun. And when people apologise, I've had people actually apologise to me, going, "Oh, sorry, Nettie," he's like, "Please do more of this. This is the what's."
Don't apologise
This
for
is,
laughing.
you know, and people won't come into the workplace and they won't look forward to it if you don't make it a fun place to be. And fun is obviously different for everybody, and you've got to make it appropriate.
But that's one.
Which I wouldn't. I'd be completely appropriate, which is why only certain amounts of what we video and you see is what you see, because I'm completely inappropriate.
Do think we need the outtakes? Yeah.
For example, these are very nice bits, aren't they? I quite like these, and we were admiring these before we started filming.
And I think, do you know what's a really good point? We started this originally purely for that reason as well. We
did.
We
We
started
did.
to inject some fun into life that was quite unfun at times. So I
Yes.
think it just kind of brings
Very,
it nicely
very
back to the
serious.
point, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
When we did all this in the
Full
fall.
circle on what we aimed to achieve from this. Yeah. I hope I still have some
isn't
fun.
it?
I know, I do. Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think as well, I'm kind of throwing myself into something that's actually much more serious. It's very human focused. But yeah, it's always, I think it's always mixed feelings when you, but I'm going to come back. As soon as I've finished doing all that, I am definitely going to be back on this sofa. And actually what we've not told the viewers is that we are now in your lounge, not mine. Because I'm now fully fledged interior designer and I'll never work in HR again. Yeah. You can see my influence here all over the place, can't you? No, it's very nice.
No, I think it is important that our HR community that know that they can get help, support, comfort from us as individuals, and hopefully engender that in each other, really. Because I think support comes in many formats in the modern day society, actually.
Yeah, and I think for HR people as well, you know, we do, I mean, this is a generalisation, but we do have that propensity, don't we, to prioritise everything else above ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's just comes with the nature of the job. But I wonder, I think what's going to be really key for all heads of HR and all CPOs this year is kind of staying in touch with your network and maintaining that external focus. I think if we go further in, because there's so much going on and there's so much to contend with, I think you'll lose your edge. And I think also you'll lose a level of support that you need. I think sometimes, particularly when things become really tricky, they become much trickier for HR people because you are at the centre of everything that's tricky and everywhere else in the business. So you become the focus. So I think
I think edge is a really, really good word to use there. Edge, because edge is it's the difference, isn't it?
It is. And I would just encourage everyone this year to, you know, I think we're, you know, who knows what's coming down the track, but it's going to be sticky. We know that, and it's going to be stickier than last year. And people are going to be more frustrated and more compressed. And, you know, everything will be more expensive, particularly in the UK. So what's that going to do for everyone? And I think it's interesting, isn't it? But if there's a lot going on societally for people, we talked about war, cost of living crisis, climate crisis, all of these things. And, you know, to spend 5 minutes watching the news, the amount of people and clients that I've spoken to, really senior clients over the last kind of, you know, week or so have talked about the fact they're not even watching the news. They're not even listening to it because it's just so macabre and it's so kind of miserable
And sometimes misrepresented as well.
but I think going back to your point, if we're not getting any kind of positivity and uplift from other areas of our lives, I think unfortunately it's just a normal disposition for people
cycle, isn't it?
to expect more from their leaders, which then means that people are going to be more disappointed if leaders don't step into that space. So I think the whole connectivity, the humanity piece is going to be really important this year for leaders and to move away from the task.
So anyway, we will be continuing with a bit of light relief.
Special guests.
With some very special guests, guest speakers.
Yes,
also
absolutely.
allowed back. Seriously, Jordan.
So thank you.
It's been my pleasure. I've loved it.
We will keep going with the series because I think there's many
Absolutely.
and ongoing topics that we need to discuss. And thank you for all of
This
your.
actually might be a good point to leave a bit of an outtakes for the fun at the end.
Yes, we do. So yeah, might put other guest speakers on coming, but you know.
Yeah, I would be seen dead on that podcast because all as they do is laugh and have a really good time. No, but I think in all seriousness, I've loved doing this because, you know, we're good friends and we, you know, I've always been in and out with the Curve Group because I've seen it for myself and I've seen the great culture that you've created and the people. No, but in all seriousness, what you've created there.
Thank you.
And I think having worked a lot with entrepreneurs and business leaders that have founded something themselves, the biggest privilege and excitement always for me that I find when I'm working with those people like yourself is that you've created something. That's the privilege. You can create something amazing. You can actually influence a fantastic culture. You can really embody all the things that are important to you as a leader. And I think there's a marked difference between corporate life, which is getting even worse, and those that are running their own businesses. Entrepreneurs are still focusing on making sure that people are happy, having a fun environment. It's unfiltered. There's no pressure on them to be anything other than themselves because that's why people joined the organisation. You know, whereas I think in corporate life, there's a lot more expectations around. I'm just going on now, aren't I? I felt like you're looking at me then like, is he going to stop? I'm trying to get as much out in my last episode as possible, so this is probably going to be half an hour.
Me and Jeanette would just be like this at the end.
Dead and asleep. You know, is he still talking? Are we still rolling?
Yeah, right. Thank you. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Look forward to hearing your insights and what you want us to discuss in the future.
So just to add a bit more fun to your day, you can see some of our quite interesting outtakes.
You are so in love with me. It's making me feel a bit claustrophobic. I said, you know, when people are like, it's just like, I can't breathe. You're so in love with me. I can't breathe.
Do you know, I don't have that problem very often.
I'm not good
I've
with
had it all my
clingy.
life and I'm sick of it, honestly.
Am I clingy, Kelly?
Oh, God, that was a yes.
That was so yes. Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh, she's needy.
No, just
Oh my God.
moments.
Are you filming this? Are you filming this? So this is what we... This is what we need to know. Needy Nettie.
Needy Nettie.
Needy,
okay.
why is she needy?
She just can't be needy sometimes.
Oh no, I don't like
all the
needy.
Wow.
See, I've got a dash hand that's
I'd
needy.
say demanding.
Go, we're waiting for you. Come on. Sort yourself out.
Push her back again. Stick that leg up.
That's a beard move. Right.
Oh, get wound up.
I like getting dressed up.
I like
Spoon his hand. It's probably me.
I like going to London. Might be mine actually.
Oh, we've lost him again.
So just for those that can't see Doug because he's out of the camera line, he's literally been sunbathing in the sun, obviously, because like you wouldn't sunbathe in the rain, would you? No.
Maybe.
And now as soon as the camera's gone,
He's good.
come
back
over.
over.
Come on then.
Come on.
Right, shall we introduce ourselves?
Go on.
I just want to introduce the fact that I'm on Jordan's chaise
I
lawn.
know.